So with that, I'm going to turn the reins over to Graham to take us through this session.
Hello. So thanks for the introduction, Caitlin. It's great to be here. As Caitlin mentioned, I'm Graham Glass. I am the founder and primarily CTO at CYPHER Learning. So as such, my main role at the company is driving our AI vision and strategy. And one of the reasons I absolutely love my role is because I've been into AI since I was a kid. Like I was a huge Star Trek fan. I always loved the Star Trek computer. And I just thought that was a fascinating idea that you could have a machine that could talk to you. And lo and behold, fast forward quite a few years, and now suddenly these AIs are amazingly good. And they are literally getting better every month. So we're very, very serious about utilizing AI to improve the way that people teach and learn. And for those of you who are either CYPHER Learning customers or been following us, you'll know that we released our first AI tool almost 2 years ago, the course creation tool. That is not what the focus of this webinar is, but I will mention that we've got tons of cool new stuff coming out in the course creation tool. But the emphasis of today's webinar is on this new thing, which is the Learn tool as part of the agent. And before I actually show it to you, because most of this webinar is going to be a live demo, I just want to talk with you a little bit about the philosophy about what we're up to as a company. So if you look at the learning platform industry, it's been primarily focused on courses. So courses for compliance, courses for onboarding, courses for training. There's nothing wrong with a course, but ask yourself the question in your everyday life, how much stuff do you learn through a structured formal course versus how much do you learn through, say, ChatGPT or Google? And I don't know about you, but I probably learn 98% of what I do in the moment using a tool like ChatGPT and only 2% through a course. And our feeling is that this is not that unusual. There's hundreds of millions of people use ChatGPT every day. So our feeling is we want to infuse our platform with AI to allow people to learn blended either in the moment when it's appropriate or through a course when it's appropriate. And what I'm going to show you, this new learn feature, you can kind of think of as ChatGPT on steroids, seamlessly integrated into our platform. So without further ado, I'm going to share my screen. So hopefully you guys can all see this. And what I'm showing you is CYPHER Agent, this little floating button down here. Now, the CYPHER Agent is going to be officially released later this month. But if you really want to get your hands on it earlier, you can approach our company and I'm sure we'll enable it for you. So down here in this little button, floating agent button, FAB for short, when you click on it, it shows you the various abilities that the agent has. And adding a course is something that we've had for quite a long time. Learn, enjoy learning anything quickly with the help of an AI agent. This is the new CYPHER Agent ability. And we've got tons of abilities coming down the pike in various states of prototypes. So this year alone, we're going to be releasing about 3 more major abilities into CYPHER Agent. But the Learn ability is the one that I want to focus on today. Now, if you were using our platform, the first thing you would do before using it is actually enabling it. So I'm just going to give you just a very quick glimmer here. If I go into Admin, CYPHER Agent, this is the administrative panel. And if I click on Features, you'll see this new thing, which is the Learning tool. And there's a few things you can do. If you want to enable it just for administrators, you can. If you want to enable it for instructors and learners, you can. So if you wanted to make it available to all of your learners, for example, you would come in here, click on Enable for Learners. The last thing I'm going to mention while I'm in this admin section is the concept of guardrails. So a lot of people who are trying this thing, they'll say, well, how do I prevent learners from learning all about cryptocurrency trading and raising a sheep or something at work? So this is an editable guardrail here, and you can put whatever you want in there. So in this case, only assist users with industry job-related questions, otherwise politely refuse. And I'll show you that in action in just a minute. So let's just say, for the sake of discussion, that you have enabled the tool. So the next question is, what is the user experience? So I'm going to click here and I'm going to click on Learn. And it's very friendly, this agent. Hello, Graham, what would you like to learn? And the first thing you'll notice is there are a bunch of suggested things that you could learn about. These suggestions are not picked out of thin air. They're actually typically related to your user profile. So the agent has like a little memory of things about you. And we preload that profile area with things like which courses you're enrolled with, what your job title is, who you work for. That's to kind of get the agent kickstarted. And then as it interacts with you, it gradually updates its knowledge of you into its memory. So these suggestions are based on what it knows about you. Now, in this particular case, if I typed in, how to build hand grenades, well, let me just do that for fun. You'll see what happens. How can I build? This is just an example of grenade. This is just an example of guardrails in action. So you'll see, I cannot assist with requests to build dangerous or illegal devices. Thank you. So the guardrails basically will kick you out of any scenario which is not allowed. So now I'm going to do something a bit more interesting. I'm going to do digital learning. Now, there's a lot more you can do. I'm just starting with something very simple and basic, but then I'm going to show you much more sophisticated stuff. But this could be anything that you want to learn about in the moment, and it can be as specific or general as you like. So you could say, I'm dealing with a really difficult customer support question in Uruguay. Can you help me? Or you can just say, teach me about how to build sales presentations. So I'm just going to say digital learning. So behind the scenes, what we do is we use multiple premium AIs. None of this cheap AI stuff. We're using the good stuff. So we've asked the AI, we want to teach somebody all about digital learning, and we want to do so in a structured way. One of the things with ChatGPT is that it's not particularly structured, so that it will give you just a stream of content, but not necessarily everything you want. And I don't know why it's frozen here. Let me just try it again. Usually it doesn't do that. We're somewhat at the mercy of the APIs of the various vendors. So maybe one of the vendors is going slightly slower than before. So let's start it again. So what it's going to do is going to create you a custom image. It's going to provide you an introduction, provides you with a concept map that shows you all the various related topics. And down the left-hand side, it's giving you a nice table of contents. And once again, if you compare that against ChatGPT, there's not really any structure in ChatGPT. It's just more like a conversation. Now, once you've launched this, the Learn tool, you can decide how you're going to consume this content. So there's one way, which is linear. So I could come here and click Next Section, and that will just take me to the next section in this interactive tutorial. And that's handy if you just want to, get used to what's going on, learn the content in a sequential fashion. But one of the more powerful ways is to jump immediately to the specific area that you want to go to. So I'll show you how to do that right now. By the way, if you're eagle-eyed, you'll have noticed that when I clicked on that, as it generated the content, it then started spinning and say, checking accuracy. And this is where the multiple AI approach comes into being. So we don't rely on the fact that the first AI is necessarily generating good content, because we all know that AI sometimes make mistakes. So once the first AI has generated the content, we feed it into a different premium AI from a different vendor. And if the second AI agrees with the first AI, it'll go verified. But if there are any issues, it'll say potential inaccuracy detected, and then allow you to easily regenerate the content. So let me go back to when I first asked about digital learning. And you'll notice here the concept map is telling you the top 20 things associated with this particular topic. Now let's just say I go, hey, I'm actually very interested in personalized learning pathways. I can click on that concept map and it will automatically take me to the area in this particular interactive tutorial associated with personal learning pathways. So everything is tied back to concepts. So in this particular case, I jumped right to the place that interests me, and now it's generating this content for me. Now the content that is being generated is interactive in the sense that now I can talk to the agent. So for example, let's just say I want to say, provide me with some examples of assessments. So much like ChatGPT, you can talk, but when you're talking, it's very aware of where you are in the tool right now, so it'll keep it very focused for you. So you can go backwards and forwards, get specific answers, and everything is persistent. So later on, if you come back into the tool and I reload digital learning, it will remember everything that you've seen so far. Now let me go on to collaboration tools, and I'll show you something else. So it's generating the content, and then I'm going to go into something called tutor me mode. So right now it's interactive in that generates content, you can ask it a question, but it's not kind of tutoring you, leading you by the hand into a particular area. So if I go down to an area and I go, I want a bit of tutoring here, I can click tutor me. And then it puts the CYPHER agent into a tutoring mode. And in the tutoring mode, the general idea is that I want some hand-holding here, hand-holding. I want it to adaptively figure out what I do or don't know, and then it will guide me through this tutorial. So it goes, have I used any of these? I'm using Zoom right now. And then based on my response, it's going to say, okay, great, you've done that. And it's going to gradually guide me through step by step into the area of interest. So we've got content mode, and we've got a tutoring mode, and we've got the ability to easily learn about something in the moment. Now, it might well be that as you're learning these things, you get particularly interested and you want to kind of binge learn. I want to learn about related subjects in the moment. So down here, there's a list of related subjects that the agent figures you might be interested in. So let's go into blended learning, for example. So now I basically quickly launched the Learn tool on blended learning, and now I'm going to be able to binge learn all about this particular subject. And we've tried to make this learning tool pretty fast. I think it typically takes about 10 seconds to generate the introduction page, and it's doing a lot. It's creating the image using one AI, it's creating the introduction using another AI, it's creating the concept map, it's creating the table of contents. So, I will say as an engineer building this thing, that was quite a challenge to make it fast enough and to do the accuracy checking. So that's the basic bare bones. But now what I'm going to show you is a whole bunch of really cool stuff that you might not have realized. So one of the great things about using generative AI is that when it generates the content, it's generating completely fresh content for you. And this is something which is quite different from courses. So a traditional course, you basically create the course content, and everyone who goes through that course will basically get the same content. Now, there are some courses, we have adaptive courses, but they're adaptive in the sense that maybe I show you or hide a module based on your ability. But adaptive courses aren't literally creating content just for you. So let's just say, for example, that I want to learn about sales presentation. So I'm going to give you the plain vanilla one and then a much more fun one using this personalization capability. So I'm going to say just creating a sales presentation. So whenever it's generating content, it is taking into account your learner profile. And I can even ask the agent, what do you know about me? And it will tell me. And everything that it knows about me is taken into account. So I can say, what do you know about me? And if you've used ChatGPT, it's a lot like kind of the memory. I think this is a slightly messed up profile because I've tried so many personas. So it thinks I'm 14 years old, living in California. I aspire to be like James Bond. That's because I've done a bunch of James Bond courses. But and you can adjust this. You can say, I'm now 21. Oh, I wish, and living in London. And if I tell it that, it will update the profile and then it will take that into account. And it's pretty cool. As you chat with the agent, if you happen to mention something personal, it will automatically record that, let you know, and then it will take you into account. So here we go now. So I'm 21, living in the UK. So now let me show you how to actually do some explicit personalization. So I'm going to go back and let's just say I really love music. And you'll notice, by the way, it's updating all those suggestions because my profile got updated. So therefore, it now knows new stuff about me. So I can say, creating a great sales presentation using analogies from music. We've got several team members who really like music and are musicians, so hopefully they'll appreciate this. And this is the kind of stuff where Gen AI really shines. So notice how it starts. A great sales presentation can be compared with a well-composed piece of music. It's got a clear structure, a rhythm, memorable hooks. So now the entire interactive tutorial is now mapped against musical things. Logical transitions. Here we go. Now, while it's doing this, there are a few questions that might be running through your mind, which is, how many AI credits does this tool use? Is this expensive or a cheap tool? Typically, if you want to do an entire interactive tutorial on a subject, you're talking about maybe 10 cents. It's relatively inexpensive compared with how valuable your time is. And that is including the image creation, the text creation, the AI Crosscheck. So there's just an example of something that's highly personalized, which you would not be able to do in a typical environment. Let me show you a few more things. I'm going to click on one of these things. It knows that I'm interested in biology. Here's a particular topic that it thought I might be interested in. So here's something about DNA, and I'm going to go and take a quick look here. Let's look at this thing here. Next generation sequencing. Now, as you're going through this, one of the things that might be going through your mind is, given how good this stuff is, do you really need courses anymore? And our feeling is yes. Our feeling is courses are very, very good for structured training when you want everyone to go through the same information at approximately the same pace. So for compliance, it's really important for legal purposes that people go through the course and get exposed to the specific material. Or if you're onboarding someone into your business and you want them to learn everything about your business in a very specific sequence. Or if you've got formal training like at company X, here is how we build car engines, that's something that you want to be very, very formal. But we also do think that more and more learning is going to be done in the moment, just like I'm learning right now. Another question you might be having is, where does this data come from? So I've been going through this learning tool, And right now it's being driven by public data. But we also have built-in support for private data. So let's just say, for example, that you have your own sales methodologies, or if you're in biology and there's certain ways that your company sequences DNA, you can upload the document into our resources catalog. You can click a little button that will ingest it, and then it will use that data when driving these tools. So if you were to launch something about how to create a great sales presentation, whatever your training department has shared through its own documentation will be used in preference to public data. And we already have that same technology built into our course creation tool. So when you build courses, it'll create them from private data, but we're now providing our learning tool with the same kind of capability. So just a few more things before we wrap up and take any particular questions. Just going to give you another demo of personalized learning. So I'll do, let me see. I'm just going to do a fun one here. Digital learning in the style of Minecraft. This is just kind of an extreme one to show you how well the system can customize information. And even the image itself will take into account the customizations. So there's quite a kind of a mind-blowing demo of how well the system can customize. Now, once you've seen this, you might be also wondering, well, what other kind of tools make sense? So our general strategy, without going into specific details, is to provide a very rich set of agent capabilities that allow you to develop skills, develop your career, assess yourself, learn in the moment, learn courses, but all tightly integrated. So let me give you an example of something that we're going to put in version 2 of our learning tool. So it's not in the first release. Recall in the learning tool that when you learn something, it has related subjects down the left. So in version 2 of this, tool, there's also going to be related courses. So for example, if you go and want to learn about a particular subject, but it notices that in your course catalog or one of your third-party course catalogs, because we integrate with Go1, LinkedIn, Udemy, Coursera, edX, Open Sesame, it will advise you, by the way, if you're interested in learning this in the moment, you might also be interested in taking this particular course. We also have integrated between courses and the learning tool. So we're talking about bi-directional, very deep integration here. So let's just say, for example, that you are using our goals functionality. So if I, here are one of my learning goals, digital marketing manager, and associated with the job title of digital learning manager are a whole bunch of skills. And let's just say I want to get better at these two particular skills, but I don't necessarily want to take a whole course to learn them. So you can just select the skills that you want and say, learn using AI, and it will now automatically launch the Learn tool so you can get in the moment education about those two particular things. And this is the kind of bidirectional integration that I absolutely love. You're in one part of the system, maybe in a formal course, and now you can launch the Learn tool to learn all about that thing. And if you want to, you can even drop into tutoring mode to get more of a handheld experience. And here's another form of integration. Let's just say that I'm enrolled in a course, Graphic Design Fundamentals. So here is a course. And if I go into the mastery area, it's showing me here are all the skills that I'm learning in this particular course. Now, let's just say that I'm doing great in the course, but this particular, I'm not doing so great. So what you can do inside the course itself, select the skills you want to learn, click Learn Using AI. And now I'm augmenting what I've learned in the structured environment, but now learning in the moment. So this is just an example of how we've got these AI functionality and we're gradually connecting these things together in a really seamless way. Now, I believe that I've covered at this point all the main areas of our new Learn functionality. And at this point in time, it's time to answer any questions that anyone might have. So I'm going to stop my sharing and take a look and see if there's
Okay.
anything.
So we have lots of questions, Graham, about how this tool will be able to integrate with course content and other content hosted on the on CYPHER in the future.
Okay, well, so let's talk specifically about course content. So the Learn tool is designed primarily to exist. It can exist independently of a course, but we're doing a really nice integration. I'm not going to give the details away because that'll be another webinar in a month or so, where you'll be able to go into a course and click a button in the course, and it will launch the Learn tool, but restricted to the course content itself. So in other words, let's just say that you don't want to make the Learn tool available generally to learners, but you want to keep them laser focused on the courses that they're in. You'll be able to enable a new option where within the course you can launch the Learn tool, and then it will drive the learning process specifically aligned with your course content. And that integration will not be limited to just learning, but it'll also be able to assess you. So if you're in the course and you just want to find out how well am I understanding the content, you'll be able to get assessment through that integrated tool as well. So that's not in the current version, but that is something that's already slated for a future ability.
Wonderful. We also had a question about the languages in which the learner agent operates.
Yeah, so it supports 50 plus languages, all the languages that the course creation tool. Unfortunately, English is my dominant language, so I couldn't really demo it in Spanish or Italian or something. But basically, if your profile is set to Italian, then when it launches, everything is 100% Italian. And we also support right to left languages. So if you're Arabic, the tool will work in Arabic as well.
Right. And we did just have one question, so I just want to do clarify this for every attendee. Everything Graham showed you is directed for the learner. So this is not an administrative tool. This is something that for the learner to use to augment their learning experience.
Yeah.
And also, I just really encourage people to think outside the box about what learning is enabled. Like this is We've been doing formal courses for a long time and throwing out documents for people to reference for a long time. This is something else entirely. This is an augmentation tool that will augment both your formal training, your informal training, and all those little bits and pieces that people need to learn to do their jobs on a daily basis that may or may not exist in the catalog.
Yeah, that's a great point. And proof is in the pudding. Like when we were building this tool, I found myself using this tool more than ChatGPT. So when I wanted to learn about something
Mhm.
deeply, if I've just got a quick question, what's the capital of Yugoslavia? I'll just have ChatGPT. I'm not going to launch this. But if I want to learn about a specific area, then I find using the Learn tool to be much more effective than using ChatGPT, because this actually gives you the concept map, the structure, it's all tracked, supports binge learning, it does AI cross-check, it's integrated directly into courses with that learn using AI. So I just found that I was using this more and more, which is a really good sign. If
Yeah.
you're building something for your product, but you just decide you don't really want to use it, then that's not a very good sign. And
Yes.
our feeling is more and more people are learning in the moment, but we're integrating like a really fantastic ability to learn in the moment that's fully integrated with courses, skills tracking, management. We've got a whole roadmap how all this stuff becomes more and more highly leveraged between all these tools.
Yes, absolutely. Just say we just had so another question, I think sort of about maybe you can generally give us some insight into where you plan to take this product, because we've got a lot of questions about how do we expect it to interact with course content down the road? Do we expect it to be able to consume video content that's hosted on the site and leverage that in its answers?
Absolutely. So first of all, the learning tool will be able to leverage any content whatsoever. So So when you go into your resources catalog, you can upload videos, PowerPoints, PDFs. Courses themselves will get automatically ingested to the course content. So we basically just chunk everything that you want. And this will be scoped. So you can upload a PDF for a specific organization and chunk that. And then when users in that organization use the Learn tool, they will get access to that private data, whereas other organizations won't. So we're trying to think very enterprisey, if you like, with this stuff. But where this thing is going, there's a clue in the name of CYPHER Agent. So our feeling is everyone is going to have a personal learning agent. That's like the AI vision. And that agent will help you in every step of your learning process. So whether it's learning a new thing, planning your skills, defining your goals, actioning your goals, managing team members, all of this stuff will be done by your agent. And we're working really, really hard to release that entire spectrum of features so your agent will be able to do virtually everything that I just mentioned. So obviously the learnability is the first thing that we're putting under the banner of CYPHER Agent, but there's a whole bunch of features scheduled for later on this year. And
Excellent.
I think, a lot of this information we're going to start sharing on our website. It's not like we're not trying to be top secret about this stuff. So yeah, we're going to be releasing a whole bunch more details quite soon about
Yeah,
this.
there is actually quite a bit of information on the website and in the user guides and on support. We have a question about data privacy and ownership issues around the content that's generated.
Yeah, so you own all your content that gets generated. So, and the only AIs we use are premium AIs that they're legally bound to not share your data with anyone. So you can think of it, 100% of this stuff is completely private and you own. There's no copyright issues, and everything is generated from scratch for you. Don't know if that answers your question.
Yeah, yes.
And like we're not training stuff on your data. The AI vendors themselves aren't training the stuff or sharing data. It's all just for you.
Perfect. Okay. A couple more questions I'll just address quickly because we are a little bit past the 30-minute mark. We've had some questions about billing. This is a credit-based system. So when you enable CYPHER Agent, whether it's CYPHER Agent for course creators or CYPHER Agent for learners, you do also get a bucket of credits. And then those credits are drawn down as the solution consumes them. I think as we maybe are all aware at this point, AI does consume quite a few resources. So we've made this a consumer-based pricing model, essentially. The consumption of credits at the learner level is significantly lower than at the course creator level. So don't think it's on the same level if you've been experimenting with course creator.
Yeah,
And
and
what happened? Yeah.
we've also got a whole quota system built into our platform. So you can say each learner gets this particular quota. You can control it on a per learner basis. So you've got some super learner, maybe I bump them up by 10x. And it's not just infinite billing. So if you actually hit like your limit, it's not going to overcharge you. It basically just says, oh, you're out of credits. Please contact your admin for more. And this credit-based system, by the way, is becoming pervasive, not just in our industry, just generally.
Yeah.
So like we use Atlassian products, and very similar with Atlassian. Like they give you the AI, it's amazing, it does lots of things, and it's up to you how much of the AI you use, and they basically will sell you big blocks of credits. So that's what we're doing there is actually becoming kind of an industry norm.
Yeah. And it's probably the most appropriate way to really ensure that, if you're getting value out of it, then we bill you. But if you're not using it, then you don't
If you're
end
not
up with
using
it.
it, turn it off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Graham, I don't know if you got a chance to show this, but administrators can actually review what people are querying. So it does give as an
Yeah,
administrator.
I can quickly
Yeah.
show you that as well.
Yeah. I think that's a really
Yeah,
nice
that's
feature.
actually a
It does
cool
give
one.
you insight into what people want to learn about.
So let me just
And just while you're navigating there, I'll address just another question that did come up. If this is something that you would like to trial, we are currently running beta right now. GA is just around the corner. If you have interest in this and you'd like to explore this for your organization, please reach out to your CSM and we can arrange that for you. We are thrilled to have our customers give this a try and let us know what you think.
Yeah, actually, in this particular history, the item's showing up as a dash here, so, which is a bit strange. So we'll have to
I
get
think
that.
if you click the options, you'll be able to see what it is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
yeah, and this, but we'll tweak this because where it says item, I
yeah,
actually would prefer it.
yeah.
But yeah, this is like teaching me about how to use fonts.
Hmm.
Oops, my Zoom thing's in the way. Teach me about alignment and logo stuff. But yeah, one of the things that we do want to do is to have an AI that can run for admins that actually looks at this stuff and then provides insights. So I know
Yes.
I mentioned that we're doing some AI for learners, some of the AIs for instructors, some for managers. But I think administrators can really benefit from using AI as well to get insights into how the
Mhm.
platform's being used.
Yeah, yeah, because it's a great chance. If you have people looking at one particular topic, you can determine if it's worth investing in something that's a little bit more hands-on and a little deeper.
Yeah.
Uh, so with that, just a reminder for everybody, this recording will be posted both to our website and our YouTube channel. If you access the recording on our website, you can also access the Q&A that go with it. And again, a reminder for those of you who missed it last week, we did a pro tips webinar where we talked about the business side of it, the adoption, because whenever you have a new tool like this that doesn't neatly fit into the way we've been doing business for so long, it can be a little hard to imagine where it's going to fit in, or even if you can imagine it, how do you make that case to your leadership so that they can really see the value in it? And that's what we talked about last week at our pro tip session. So I encourage you to watch that as well if you missed it. Likewise, there's some resources available there from that session as well. Graham, thank you so much for joining us. Graham is going to be a regular guest star for CYPHER Live. We're going to be doing at least once every 4 weeks with him. So do look out for those invites, and we'll have Mark Schuster doing ones in between Graham sessions as well. On if you have any topics that you're interested in, please do send us a note and let us know what you'd like to learn about. So thank you all so much. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.